what's up guys? Joker here. Today I wanted to talk to you about Denuvo DRM and some upcoming titles like Rise of the Tomb Raider and Far Cry Primal, as well as the confirmed recommended system requirements for Rise of the Tomb Raider. But first I wanted to let you know that today's video is being sponsored by Bundle Stars. Yesterday they sent over 8 keys, which I gave to you guys down in the description box. And today they launched their indie bundle as part of their week-long bundle fest. So they sent over the 10 keys for that indie bundle going on right now, which I'm going to put down in the description box today. So first come, first serve. You can grab those CD keys as well as the link over to their website where you can get 10 games for only $3.49. So definitely be sure to go ahead and check that out. So before we jump into today's big topic and rant on Denuvo DRM, first I want to get out of the way the system requirements for Rise of the Tomb Raider. We recently had some rumored requirements with the recommending a GTX 970 or an R9 290X, along with an i7 3770 or an FX 8350 from the AMD camp. And those numbers have now been confirmed. So some people had got upset about that, thinking that they think it's going to be poorly optimized just because it recommends a 970. I don't really think that that's the case. If they're being honest and they really think that that's what you're going to need for like 1080p 60 FPS, and that is lining up with the information we've gotten from NVIDIA, who are partnered with them on Rise of the Tomb Raider's release. They have their NVIDIA page up for Rise of the Tomb Raider. They're recommending a 970 at least for 1080p 60 FPS and a 980 Ti for 1440p 60 FPS over on the NVIDIA page. I'll link to all of this down in the description below, so let me know what you think about that. I just wanted to update you about it though, because we had talked about it previously. But continuing on with Rise of the Tomb Raider, also Denuvo DRM now we know is going to be in Rise of the Tomb Raider and Far Cry Primal actually. Now, every time Denuvo DRM comes up, there are a lot of people that get upset about it because, with good reason, it has had issues in the past. It's actually caused performance issues in games, and with Batman Arkham Knight, you remember all the issues we had with that in 2015. I gave it one of my worst game of the year award, so it had a lot of issues, and there were many people, whether justified or not, were pointing the finger at Denuvo DRM, thinking that they were to blame on this, and it has caused issues in other titles in the past. Lords of the Fallen, notably, when that first came out, had some issues, even crashing people's SSDs. Some people even claim that it had burned out their SSDs entirely. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but people were claiming it. I don't know if it was ever actually confirmed that Denuvo DRM damaged hardware, but that was a rumor, so you could see why the atmosphere surrounding it would not be great. That's what I'm trying to get here. The atmosphere around Denuvo is not good. So anytime something like this comes up, people get a little upset about it. Now, there's also this misconception that Denuvo DRM, which is an anti-tampering encryption that they put on games to prevent people from trying to hack into games. So the reason that legitimate consumers get upset about this is if it's causing performance issues, they almost feel like they're being penalized because of other people that are choosing to hack or crack games or pirate games that they're not doing, and but then they're in turn being affected by it. And that is wrong. If paying customers are being affected by something that is being put in place just because of people that aren't paying, then that is wrong, and that should not be happening in my personal opinion. But there's this misconception that Denuvo DRM is completely uncrackable, and that's just not the case. It's been cracked in the past. It was cracked on Lords of the Fallen. It was cracked on Dragon Age Inquisition because it's a more advanced encryption. It's a 64-bit encryption, which definitely requires an order of magnitude greater CPU power to crack it, but it has been done. The old school Italian scene group, CPY Conspiracy, they were actually the first ones to, I believe, to crack this, and it was on Lords of the Fallen. It was one of the first Denuvo titles, along with FIFA 15. So some of these Denuvo titles, I think actually most of them have been cracked by now. And some of them by the CPY scene, so it's not a foolproof thing. So if they're implementing this and all it really is doing is slowing down the crackers by a few weeks because they need to, make their CPUs work a little bit harder at just brute forcing the encryption, then that's messed up, because if people that are paying their money and then they get screwed over on their performance because of this, just to make crackers have to wait a little bit longer to play the game, what's the point, honestly? What is the point at the end of the day? And I've talked as well in the past, we talked about this on TGW actually, about studies that have shown that piracy has actually accelerated sales of all forms of media that it's been involved with, whether it be film, music, games, software, everything. Every form of media that is pirated, its sales have in turn been accelerated by piracy because they believe that pirates actually spend more money on software and media in general than a normal consumer who was not a pirate. So it's an interesting thought, to say the least. You guys can let me know down in the comments below what you think about this, or are you not affected by Denuvo DRM being in Rise of the Tomb Raider? Personally, I feel that in the recent titles that it's been ironed out. I haven't had any issues with it in games recently that have had it, like Just Cause 3. That game ran really well at launch. It was a very smooth launch for me, despite the issues that Avalanche was having with the publishers, all of the issues they had to go with in the backside of that. But they still got out a good optimized title with Denuvo DRM, so it can be done. It's not like it can't be done, so I don't have a big issue with anti-piracy per se, but if it's causing performance issues for people, then I guess I do. But that's all I've got for you guys. Let me know your thoughts again down in the comments below, and check out all the links for today's stories, and I will catch you next time.